Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming in. I'm here to do a general message for Saturn's transit into Aries, which I'm sure you've heard if you've been following other readings and other astrology. It's a pretty big deal. Saturn only shifts signs about every 2.5 years, so it takes about 27 years to go around the whole zodiac. Anyway, needless to say, I'm going to be doing an astrotarology intro. This one probably will be lengthy because we're dealing with my favorite subject in astrology, which is Saturn. I'll go into a bit of why that is the case, astrologically speaking, in the intro. But anyway, I'll timestamp the reading in the description box below if you want to go ahead and jump to that. Saturn. Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. It first entered my awareness when I was 14 and I was at the library and I saw a book titled Saturn, A New Look at the Old Devil. And I considered myself to be all dark and gothy. And I was like, the devil, a new look. Let's check this out. Little did I know it was by psychological astrologer Liz Green, who became one of my lifelong teachers as my exploration of astrology and psychology unfolded. She's actually a Jungian psychiatrist who utilizes astrology in her practice. Very brilliant woman. Anyway, that kind of sent me all the way to where I am now. And what is interesting is in my own chart, personally speaking, I have Saturn and Leo in the 8th house, but it sits right on top of my Venus and my Mercury, and very, very close to the sun for me, all in the 8th house of the psyche, of what's hidden. So we have Saturn with Venus, the planet of love. So no wonder. There's just so much about that that makes sense when applied in my own world. And Saturn is like that. Even to the people, if I look back in my life, most of my meaningful relationships have had heavy Capricornian placements in them. Now, I'm a Cancer, so Capricorn is my opposite sign. And then we have all of that Saturn energy pretty much contacting most of my chart. So Saturn in my world has always played a challenging, yes, but meaningful role, as it does in everybody's life. You've heard me go on and on how I believe that Saturn is not treated fairly in astrology and certainly not in tarot as the devil card. Saturn, I've talked a lot about it in other readings in other kind of ways, because of course there's multiple ways. Yes, it is about the lessons that you learn. It is about what holds you back. It is about things that you're afraid to conquer. But it also rules the 10th house of the zodiac, which is the house of personal excellence and self-mastery. It is the last of the personal houses. From there, we move into how it fits into the collective in the 11th house, who you are as your mastered self, full of self-awareness, full of having answered all of those questions that Saturn and the devil make you face. Because then you enter into what you have to offer out in the 11th house to the collective Aquarius energy, having done all of that self-reflection and personal work. And after that comes the last house, which is Pisces. We actually have Neptune playing a very big role with Saturn right now. It's conjunct and it will stay that way through a retrograde in Aries. Saturn will retrograde in Aries for a few months, and it'll hit Pisces again, forming another conjunction. But in any event, by degree, they stay very, very close together all the way till the end of the year. And Neptune is all about what we dream about. When Pisces is especially in the last degrees, which is currently where Saturn is sitting, it's another half of, not even, I believe tomorrow it tips into Aries. But that final concentrated degree of Pisces, because it is the last house and it's the house of dissolution, think of the Hanged Man, it can carry a victimization energy with it. That's why you get a lot of people saying my favorite saying right now, it is what it is. When Aries moves into Saturn, it isn't what it is. It's what you make of it. Aries in its first degree is the creator degree and it's cardinal fire. It is about what you do with your own personal power, Capricorn energy, Saturn energy. And you can't cut corners with Saturn. You might think you're getting away with it, but you don't. Saturn moves incredibly slowly. In psychology, Saturn can be measured in terms of different phases of life, and it often is, taking about 27 years to go around. At the age of 27, that is the entrance into adulthood, psychologically speaking. And I don't know if any of you have heard of the famous 27 Club, but that's kind of where the karma stuff collects. And when you're 27, every year leading up till there, you make a choice. And then Saturn returns to the scene where it was in your chart the day you were born to say, what have you learned? Have you done the work? And what do you want to create going forward based on that? 27 years later, you hit 54, approximately, right? In psychology, that is known as adulthood, sometimes known as the midlife crisis. Again, because if you cut corners, or you try to, and you will, because Saturn creates resistance, it's what it's all about, because you grow from resistance. But in any event, if you resist, the price can be quite big at that point in time. It's like, I always say it's only a crisis depending on what you choose to create with it. Again, it isn't what it is, it's what you do with it. That's the magic we all have. Everything's just energy. You're the magician, and the more you know your own tools, the more you can create the reality. And that's truly why Saturn wants you to do the work the hard way. If you've ever had, okay, if you have strong Saturn in your chart, you're a Capricorn, or you have heavy Capricorn, or it is a heavy, heavy influence in your world like it is in mine, then you know that cutting corners only leads to hollow rewards that eventually fail. And Capricorn is about personal excellence and self-mastery. So once again, if you think you're getting away with it, I used to. My grandma's was a Capricorn, and I used to. And then out of nowhere, you realize you didn't get away with anything. And that's how Saturn works. It wants you to be your best. It doesn't, I was going to say its opposite sign, as we discussed, is Cancer. So when we're talking about doing your best, it's not only about the physical evidence or exertion of that Earth energy, Capricorn energy. It is about the truth behind it and your emotional self. Like, are you being true to your own heart? Cancer energy. Cancer in the zodiac is mother, Capricorn is the father. When you put those two together, right, you create that balance. Saturn into Aries. Now, as I mentioned, I've talked a lot about Aries in other videos, so I'll keep it brief. It's a fellow cardinal sign to Cancer and Capricorn. So it is that take charge energy that I call it the superhero of the zodiac. And we have Neptune involved. It is what you make of it. Your dreams are if you create them. The only limitations you face are within your own self-mastery, which is personal confidence and self-awareness and all of those kinds of things. Saturn is the adult energy. You hear me, I call it daddy energy. It is, because it's not going to let you get away with what isn't good for you, even if it's not that fun, even if it's so slow. Try having it in a fire sign touching Venus. It is, but it's worth it. And yes, I've even written love poems to Saturn. It's a beautiful, misunderstood, and such an essential energy. And moving into Aries is a very challenging, yes, but exciting place to be, because what you're creating going forward gives you the courage to create what's true to you, and it's coming from a place of maturity. So that's pretty interesting when we're talking about Saturn. All right. Yes, I have a little note here. It drags you through your own resistance. Yes, it does. All right, my friends, let's get into the reading. It's still a general reading, so you're not going to resonate with everything that I say the way that I say it, of course. Just take what does as it does, if it does, and leave the rest behind. All right, let's start off. Speaking of self-mastery, let me see. Let's start off with the wisdom of the oracle. It definitely took a long time to learn how to work with Saturn, and it does for all of us. But understanding it is the first step, because it is a magical component. Through that hard work, Saturn turns lead into gold. What do we have from the wisdom of the oracle for whoever needs this message? There's that energy. Well, actually, this is also the final degree of Pisces right now in Saturn. Imagine. Think about what's possible, not what's probable. That's what Neptune and Saturn are asking us to do right now. The horizon, beyond the horizon. Beautiful. There's a new moon out there. And in 2 days from now, after that shift of Saturn, we have a new moon in Gemini, which to me is the Peter Pan sign. So again, about exploring possibilities. Gemini energy with flexibility. Yes, keeping yourself open-minded. Gemini is the twins in astrology, and in tarot, it's the lovers. So it's the need to be able to surf between two realities. And then we have the thinker, definitely Gemini energy, new moon in Gemini on the 27th of May. But be careful with the thinker energy when flexibility comes in, right? Instead of thinking about how you can make this work, stay open to the possibilities. I don't know what this is yet. We'll see. Interesting. Thinker is number 44. I've been seeing 4 a lot lately. 4 is the number of the Emperor. That's Aries energy. Okay. Let's do a no, we already did wisdom. Let's do my hands are so shaky. This energy, I'm telling you guys. We have a lot of planets moving out of the mutable sign of Pisces, and Jupiter fairly soon is moving out of Gemini mutable into Cancer cardinal. And we have Neptune and Saturn moving out of Pisces mutable into Aries cardinal. Okay, what do we have? Cardinal energies get things started. They mark the beginning of the seasons. After the storm, I love that it's number 1. In the major arcana, number 1 is the magician. That's what I was saying. What do you create? What if it isn't what it is? What if you can create what it is? There's a certain blossoming wisdom in this after the storm. This baby owl, right? A new kind of wisdom now because of that. That's what I was talking about with Saturn. So what you create is coming from that place now. Yeah, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Because, Saturn, okay, yes, it is the devil in tarot, so darkness. But it's in the darkness that you find the light, right? You don't look, doesn't make it go away. Be at cause, you can turn it into wisdom. Interesting. Imagine what you can do. Okay. I'll do astrology at the end. Okay, we'll do the blue deck. Financial constraints. Okay. So again, focusing on, well, how can I make this work if I don't have the money to do this, if I can't? And that's very real. Of course, again, we're dealing with Saturn, Capricorn energy. But we do have this imagination card coming in. So let's see where this goes. Financial constraints in this deck is number 13, and that's interesting because in the tarot, number 13 is death and rebirth, Scorpio energy, transformation. What do we have, please? Whoa. We have community, which reminds me of Aquarius energy. Okay. I wonder after the storm and imagine. It's like you want to leave behind some kind of situation. You need to get out of there, but there's some kind of financial constraints making that difficult for you to do so. We'll see where that goes. Walking away, she's walking into a brighter horizon, and this Imagine card is doing the same. Okay. Interesting. In this Imagine card down here, I just noticed there's kind of like a barely there being holding their hand up to the new moon, like manifesting a new reality after the storm. Or like, oh, we got transformation. Okay, interesting. On the bottom, I see journey. What else? Word of romance. Okay, so this has to do with love. And I always say that on this card, there's a bird cage there. And the heart is the heart. At first, I thought it was inside, but it's actually there's a keyhole in the middle. Love opens the door. And then we have the angel of balance, which is temperance energy. That is Archangel Michael. That's, that divine alchemy being performed behind the scenes. Imagine. Yin Yang on the bottom of the deck. Now, this is number 22, and we have number 44 with Thinker. Let's do one more. Let's see. One more, please. Ooh, my heart. Okay. One more. Door to Romance is 33. Whoa, there's so many numeric synchronicities. Journey came back out. We saw it on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I do. I feel like you want to leave behind somewhere you don't belong. But it could feel like you're, after the storm. And then we have Leo energy with Angel of Strength, which is all about courage. Right now we have the planet Mars, Aries ruler, in Leo. Lots of fiery energy, which is why I'm quite shaky. Okay, let's get into it. Let's go to, I need the lights here. No, not the, yes, the lights here. Let me see you with this thinker energy. What are you thinking about? We got some imagination going on here. With the imagination, like I said, it's like you're trying to manifest what you want. Yes, amazing. We have the moon. Cancer's ruler, but new moon in Gemini in 2 days. New moon up there. And then we have the wheel. So you're manifesting a change to your financial situation. The wheel can be about a change in fortune. It can also be about taking a gamble, literally. It can be about gambling. For some of you, I don't know where that came from. I never get that message. This might let go or be dragged card. It's about handing it over to the universe. And with the hand raised to the new moon, it's kind of like help. Because I have this dream and I don't know what to do. But the wheel is about change. And that could have to do with this new moon. Let's see. How are you feeling? I'm sorry my voice is rough, you guys. I on and on about how much the pollens have been crazy this year. How are you feeling? Let me see your heart. With the wheel, like I said, something's got to change in a big way. Wow. 9 of Pentacles. That's not financial constraints. That's independence. It's freedom. It's being able to navigate the way you want to. Okay, I do see a change in fortunes coming through here. I mean, you're manifesting right from the heart. Yeah. 10 of Wands. This is a card about moving. In this deck, it is to me because, see, oh, interesting. Okay. See how she has all of her belongings packed on that pack mule there, just what she and the horse can carry. Horse? No, it's an oxen. Interesting. There's that hard working energy. But in any event, through that mountainous journey, leaving behind a community maybe after the storm, carrying what you've got with you. Something here might change out like at the hands of destiny so that you can do this. Aquarius with the star on the bottom of the deck. It's about hope and healing and being guided after the storm. Okay, where are you headed with Door to Romance? Where are you headed? I see you on this journey. And that 10 of Wands is a journey. That's the end of a journey. No way, Scorpio. Death and rebirth. You're headed to transformation. A whole new you. Okay. And that does seem to be what you want, but we'll see what this romance is about for you. I always point out how this visage here is looking out beyond the horizon. Moving forward. Leo on the bottom with strength, and we saw the angel of strength. Let me see the energy surrounding you. Now, this could be another person. It can be a furthering of your actions. Let me see. Our old friend, the King of Swords, who will not stop showing up, not just here in everybody's readings, but here for sure. Aquarius energy. We saw the star. Now, the King of Swords, and look, the star stayed on the bottom of the deck. This is you headed towards your wish, and we have that thinker energy. And definitely that is who the King of Swords is. He's my just the facts, ma'am. I'm going to do it like I need to do it. Straight up. Interesting. What's the challenge here? We have journey, right? So, yeah, financial constraints, the Five of Pentacles. But I always find it interesting because in this Five of Pentacles, over here on that side of that big oak door that she thinks she's locked out from is key. Has something to do with not being able to imagine, unlocking the mind. We have the thinker. This journey could cost you money. Ace of Wands, beautiful, coming out of death and rebirth. There's Mars energy and Aries energy. Cardinal fire. The Ace of Wands is the heart starter. It's the impetus. It's the reason why this journey. Let's see your potential outcome and then we'll clarify. But with the Ace of Wands too, and imagine, that can be a very creative energy. Maybe you get a sudden idea. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles, beautiful, a sudden idea. And I like this with that Ten of Wands. Remember what I said about Saturn energy? This is Earth energy, Capricorn. Remember what I said? The work is worth the reward. Well, that Ten of Wands takes a whole lot of work. And then we have this very, very viable seed that can be planted. A new beginning. There's already a few roots on this. It's been germinating. Something, that's a word that's been coming up a lot. But on top of that came out the Ace, or the Eight of Wands. That Ace to the Eight, boom. There it is. There's your answer. This is like movement, action, passion, communication. I always say in this deck, it looks like these rods are being struck by lightning in the background there. Wow. Okay. Eight of Wands can be a card about travel. And we have the journey there. We'll definitely clarify. But here's the Ace of Pentacles. And there's the 9, right? Financial constraints. Okay. What do we got? Let's go. Am I feeling, you know what? I'm actually feeling the wild unknown. We are dealing with Saturn. Okay, the wheel. We have the Five of Cups, wanted to come straight out. Scorpio energy. The Five of Cups is a card about longing. I call it the constant craving. It can be about sadness and regret, but mostly it is about an untouchable, unnameable longing within you. And that's probably what's pulling you forward. You're sad. And we have the Five of Pentacles here in the challenge. The Emperor on the bottom of the deck. Interesting, right? Because thinker, I said 44. Emperor's number 4. Mars energy. Divine masculine right here. Let me see the Five of Cups. The Emperor, okay. Financial constraints, and you need to get free of something. Okay. And the Emperor creates empires. The Star. Again. Third time now? Beautiful. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the Knight of good intentions. He's carrying that ace. And that's your new beginning. And it, like I said, is a seed that can be planted and you want to. But this is that cautious, careful what you're creating energy we spoke about with Saturn. And maybe it's been holding you back from what you wanted to do. But then we have that Aries energy coming through. Boom. Eight of Wands. We'll see where that goes. Well, we're going to the Nine of Pentacles in your heart. Let me see it. Okay. Boy, the cards are really, look, it's the 10. No more financial constraints. Now, I always say we can get to the 9s in tarot on our own. What we can't do is get to the 10s. You need other people. And we do have some kind of community here. For others, the star won't go away. Unbelievable. That's so powerful. And after the storm, right, we can think about the storm as being the tower in tarot. The star comes right after. This is after the storm. But again, this can be about you waiting to be able to get free of something that's holding you down. Let me see 10 of Pentacles, because we have death and rebirth up next. And all you need is some financial freedom to do so. Yeah, all you need. Look at the colors in the middle of this 3 of Wands. They look just like that star, don't they? The 3 of Wands is my wish casting card. It's about looking at a distant horizon. Can be another card about travel and where you want to go. Meet the Page of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups. More Scorpio energy coming through with the 6 of Cups. We had a full moon in Scorpio, I think, when in the middle of May, and that energy has not let go. It's Pluto. Right now we have Pluto in Aquarius, 6 of Cups, childhood dream, your childhood. Maybe this community involves people you've known since you were a child. It's kind of about looking beyond that horizon. We got that with death and rebirth, right? Let me see. Death and rebirth in your actions. Beautiful. Look at Aries coming through with the Fool. The Fool is that inspired action I was talking about. We saw the Ace of Wands, and I said that's the impetus right there that gets the Fool to take a leap of faith. What came out with death and rebirth? Okay. Thinker. We have Knight of Swords and 7 of Swords. And we've been seeing the 7 of Swords a lot lately too. Now, the 7 of Swords is a strategy. It's being very, very careful about who you tell about what you're doing. It's operating behind the scenes here. But I'm going to get more on this 7 of Swords, death and rebirth. And then sometimes the 7 of Swords to me, because swords are our thoughts, it's our mind, and it can be about telling yourself stories that aren't necessarily true. But because we have this king, I'm reading it as strategy. And we have some kind of message here that you, with this knight. And it's like after that message, the door to romance opens. Let me see the king. King of Swords. King of Cups. I said, just head over heart. The King of Cups and the King of Swords are very different types of characters in many ways. I mean, they're both kings. Self-mastery, right? Master of their own suit. And we saw the Emperor. King of Cups is the king of bottomless emotion, the king of imagination. Okay, interesting. Male. Oh, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Let's see what this is about. Interesting. This could be about forming a partnership with somebody or working with somebody about something. You have a plan. Yeah, you do. 7 of Cups. Neptune energy. That's that imagine energy. What are you thinking about? Interesting. Well, we'll find out. Let me see the 5 of Pentacles. Oh, I only got one for the King of Cups. Okay, that's all right. 5 of Pentacles is part of your challenge here. Why? It's the 8 of Wands. And then we have the 8 of Wands here. Okay. Journey. 8 of Wands. You know what's so interesting to me, you guys, is I rarely read reversals as a reader because the context tells me the energy, but it's showing up in the challenge. And the Eight of Wands came out in reverse, and then in the outcome, it's upright. I can't really ignore that. Okay. What is the Eight of Wands? Whatever this is right with the Five of Pentacles. This is what you want to do, but you feel like you don't have the money. The Ace of Swords. Another ace. Ace of Swords is clarity and truth. The Hierophant. Okay. This Knight of Swords here is who carries that ace, right? And it is the truth that this fox is hiding underneath of him with one eye open, guarding it, guarding this truth. And it has something to do with the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is Taurus energy, and this can be about belief systems. Well, it can be about commitments in marriage. Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant. That's committing. And then we have this Page of Pentacles who takes hold of that ace. So this is a communication that then these Eight of Wands start moving. So let me see. Oops, I put the Seven of Swords back. Empress, when I stopped shuffling. The Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles in the heart. And this is attached to you being able to go on this journey. One more. What is the Nine of Pentacles? The journey. There's the Chariot. Cancer's major arcana. Interesting. I was just talking about Cancer. And the King of Cups is not Cancer energy. It's Scorpio, but it could, it's that water energy. This is about being guided by your intuition. We saw the star all over the place, but also travel. Libra with justice. It's about karmic balance and harmony and getting what you deserve. Let's do one more. The Emperor drives the Chariot. Five of Wands. Okay. Something to do with, there's been a lot about finances coming up, and we have this community here that you need to get free of. Five of Wands. That's a passionate energy. But worth the fight. Beautiful. Worth the fight because Ten of Swords. Air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Ten of Swords is the end of a very long and difficult path. We saw the Ten of Wands. Again, swords are about thoughts, right? This is you leaving behind some kind of community. You've learned everything you need to learn from it. And it's time for the Ten of Cups. That's beautiful. And the Hierophant. One more Ten of Swords. Like whatever, now there could be a legal decision, King of Swords, that you're waiting for as well. And it could affect your finances, and then you're free. And then you're free. Wow, King of Wands, Aries energy. So that Saturnian shift right out of Pisces, and then boom. I love the King of Wands. He's very confident. Like I said, it is what you make it. And there he is, coming forward to make the new beginning. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. I wonder what your new idea is. Okay, let's get more on the door to romance. Let's go to the pulp. Because that Three of Wands is the door. Let me see. Remember, I put the Seven of Swords back, but it was here with that Knight. The Star, come on, haunting our reading. The Knight of Cups, Romeo. The Knight of Cups is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. He makes me laugh in this deck. Like Don Juan with his red cape of passion, Aries energy, right? I know it's water, but comes storming in. Two knights, door to romance. Let me see the Knight of Cups. Oh, there's Daddy Saddy, Capricorn energy with the devil. You know, the devil can come in as fear. It can come in as lessons learned, but the devil to death and rebirth, letting it go. One more there, please. The devil and door to romance. You know what the devil was? But we do have the Four of Swords here. More air energy, interesting with all we are in Gemini season. But the Four of Swords is, remember when I said you've learned everything that you needed to learn? That's what the Four of Swords is. Emperor energy, it's a number 4. You've integrated all of the lessons you needed to learn from Saturn. It's over. That's beautiful. Let's go to the Father of Wands, because we had you jumping towards some new beginnings here with the Knight of Wands, or the Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands, Knight of Swords. No, see, again, with this community, you're having to fight pretty hard to get away from, to put an end to a chapter. 5 of Wands is very competitive energy. Let's take one more. The 10 of Wands. Remember, we already saw that. Okay, one more. Good. The 10 of Swords. The end. A long and difficult burden. Hermit. Oh my God. Okay. I'll go really fast. We have Virgo's major arcana with the Hermit. Soul searching. This is, again, you going within. 4 of Swords. And where you're being guided to go, only listening to yourself. Very wise energy with the Hermit. And I got that with the Owl. We have Judgment. Look at the hand reaching up out of the soil. Death and rebirth can also be a legal decision that's then going to free you into your rebirth. We saw the Fool. You look, Ace of Wands and the Fool, the impetus you need to change your life. And that's what you're doing with death and rebirth. Okay, amazing. Okay, let's go to, we have door to romance. Let's do a romance angel for those of you where this is romance. And I do think it is. I don't really see another person though. We saw the Empress, but I do believe that's where you're heading that way. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Okay. Journey. All part of the journey. Let's have another one. I mean, it does look back here though, like you need to get yourself free. Love yourself first. And then true love. Wow. So whatever it is you were getting away, love yourself first, 4 of Swords. And then door to romance. Okay. Yeah. Whatever it is you were getting away from wasn't easy. Let's do one more. I like that true love card. Beautiful. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. King of Wands. Okay. Let's go. Let's get a moon card. The moon was pretty dominant in this. Last quarter moon in Cancer. Take a breather. And we have that separation. And love yourself first. Okay. And after the storm. Okay, I get it. And then last quarter moon in Scorpio. Reveal what needs to be seen. And then step into your power. Interesting, you guys. First quarter moon in Aries. And we have this dude here. 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. Step into your power. Who do you need to have that conversation with? But again, it can be about financial restraints, right? And you getting yourself free. So 7 of Swords can be you laying low until that's the case. So you're not going to confront this until you have the means to actually confront it and then get away from it, if that makes sense. Whatever that is for you. Let's get you some talisman. Oh, I can't forget astrology. I'll get a couple. Okay, the talisman can be code words you can take away from the reading with you if they resonate. What else do we have for whoever needs this? Ooh, okay. Pretty intense energy, you guys. Let's have another one. Okay, let's start here. Mindfulness, King of Swords, Seven of Swords, the thinker. Interesting. Success. Concealment. That's what I was just saying about the Seven of Swords. Creativity and then good luck. We have the wheel here. Let me do one more. Overcome fear and eternal charisma. Beautiful. That rebirth energy. Okay, we'll do a couple of astrology cards to close the reading. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope it resonated somewhat. Pretty intense, right? That was just too many. Let's get a couple of astrology cards. I will be doing a reading, of course, on the new moon very soon, as well as Jupiter's shift into Cancer, which actually ties into this energy quite a lot. They stay home. I'll go into that in that reading. Look at this. Aquarius with the 11th house. Virgo energy. You have Virgo strongly in your chart. And then we have communication, Mercury. Messages. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Sag, the Wheel of Fortune. Sag has a lot to do with expansion and travel and growth. There is the suspect, Aquarius energy, which we've been seeing through this whole deck. But Aquarius is a card about collaboration as well. Okay, one more. We'll do the Lover's Oracle. I can get it without knocking my everything. Okay, what do we have? It's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. Four of Swords. Okay. Give thanks for the blessing of love, door to romance, soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Aries energy. Soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. I think you know that. Like that seems to be where you're headed. Yeah, my beloved. Though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. True be that. All right, you guys. I hope that was helpful. I'll see you very soon, my friends. I love you guys. Namaste.